And so when I say Chinese, I want you to scream out the nation that's associated with this. For example, if I say Chinese, you're going to say what?
China.
All right, let's say it with authority. When I say Chinese, you say what? China. All right, that's just a test right there. So here we go. Chinese. China. Russian.
Russia.
Italian.
Italy.
German.
Germany.
Swedish.
Sweden.
Korean.
Korea.
Egyptian.
Egypt.
Nigerian.
Nigeria.
Black.
Exactly. Nothing. Tell him, Pastor. Tell him, Pastor. Black, nothing.
I hope you were able to successfully identify the issue.
The lion won't sleep tonight. 'Cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said the lion won't sleep tonight. 'Cause we woke now, and we woke now. They want us to sell our souls to barter profit. Like God's property, it's hard to market. So we steady to aim, keep your eyes on target. Cause when you got to drive, yeah, they'd rather you park it. But I don't valet, you ain't getting these keys. I'm keeping closed hands, I'm on bended knee. I'm just a reflection, dealing with 8 sections. Art mixed with life, you can feel the convection. Your lion won't sleep tonight. 'Cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said the lion won't sleep tonight. 'Cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said the
Black people can't be anti-Semitic. We are Jew. You understand what I'm saying? We are Jew. So cool out until you do your facts. Until you really do the facts with the fake indoctrination that y'all pull into the schools and all that. You know what I'm saying? We're not following y'all rules.
The entire Bible is about black people. Not only was Jesus black, but every character in the Bible seems to be black too. Yeah, Zephaniah and Jeremiah and Jebediah, those all aren't white people names, okay? And Jesus wasn't some tan, partially melanated Middle Eastern person either. I'm talking straight up black dude, okay? Even in the book of Revelation, when you get the vision of Daniel, he's describing someone with feet like burnt brass and white woolly hair, and we've got the deep running water voice with the red eyes, and you guys, he's black. The Jewish people are black people, like Kanye was right.
I'm so glad you're here because you can bring great clarity. Can you tell us a little bit about the Sephardic Jews and how they were scattered because they went west?
I sure can.
Because the reason why I want to is because a lot of them, and a lot of people don't know this, are in the Caribbean.
They are.
In the islands.
And you're one of them. I know that.
I'm one of them.
I know that.
Because, you know, a lot of folk don't know that those roots are there. One of the first batches of slaves that came to Jamaica, they were the Sephardic Jews. It's documented.
And they're all over the Caribbean, South America, Central America, and even the South Central United States.
Wow.
And DNA testing is a factor in all this now.
You know what you are? You're an ancient Israelite.
Ancient Israelite, that's who we are. That's who we are. So if you give me time, if you give me time, all that he said.
No, we don't have.
So many years.
I know. Look at this. This is pages and pages of notes. And I promise we'll give more teaching. But here is my challenge to you.
All right.
I'm hearing some of your traditions. It's like the days of the Bible.
Yes.
Do you want to remain ancient Israelites, or you want to be Jews?
Hitler was, and the Nazis, of course, expanded. Hitler was, and the Nazis, of course, expanded on Margaret Sanger's approach to eugenics, right? Eugenics was a movement that was born in the United States under hard doctrines of racism with the intent of eliminating the tribe of Judah in the African-American community in this country, right? To eliminate them.
This world
and the next world are asymmetrical. The next world is where the majority of a person's actions, which determine his identity, are compensated. For the righteous, they exist in the world to come and they're rewarded. And for those whose major complexion is black, are excluded from the world to come.
Wells comes face to face with the man he's been searching for. A new portrait of the common ancestor of every man today. Adam. Without the skull, we can't know for sure what Adam looked like. But a combination of genetic evidence, Bender's forensic skills, and cutting-edge computer software suggests he looks something like this. Thousands of years after the Bible, and hundreds of years after Michelangelo, we have a whole new face for Adam.
And this is how we can trace our way back to our genetic Eve and her daughters. So written within it is the history of the world's women, and therefore the human race. Professor Rebecca Kahn was the pioneering scientist who uncovered the first all-important clue.
I started working on human mitochondrial DNA so that I would have some kind of view that was objective, that would help me understand and help other people understand how humans around the world were related.
With this new science, she could. Harmless mutation happens all the time in some part of the mitochondrial DNA, leaving minute markers at every change. These markers are like barcodes and can be read in the same way. Kahn and her team discovered the changes happen at a fairly constant rate. They found the groups with the earliest markers were the Africans living inside Africa, and wondered if they might be the oldest people in the world. Their bones were discovered in Kafse caves near Nazareth in Galilee in 1933. 13 fragile skeletons, one a woman, a tiny baby at her feet. When these bones were first uncovered, they were the oldest complete modern human skeletons ever found.
But the CT scan has one more surprise for Alejandro. Shammai's ethnicity.
Well, they have just told me that Shammai had Nubian features, which means that their ruling family was probably Nubian, and that was unexpected.
Examining Shammai's anatomy closely, the thickness of his bones and the shape of his nasal cavity, the anthropologists think he was a black African, likely from neighboring Nubia. A huge revelation that challenges the prevailing image of the Egyptian ruling class.
We always thought the ancient Egyptian elites were Mediterranean type, and in this sense, Shammai is representing the society of the frontier, in which different ethnic groups were mixed. At the end, it doesn't matter the color of your skin. Shammai was Egyptian.
It just doesn't matter. 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 It just doesn't matter.
Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you.
I want to say peace and blessings to everyone. Hope all is well with you guys. Let me see if I need to brighten up this a little bit. Let me know if this is good for you guys to kind of brighten up the room a little bit more. Hope and pray again, all is well with you guys. Let me know if that's too bright. If it's good, type 1. If it's if I need to still adjust my light a little bit more, type 2. All right, let me just check the comments before we get started. I'm going to drop the link inside the chat. If Berean Scholar or Sister Carol or my cousin Benaya or Bishop Brown, you guys know the routine. I'm just going to drop the link inside the chat. I want to apologize to you guys for the delay, trying to get these video clips together. Then I had some issues with StreamYard. I couldn't log in. Well, actually, I was able to log in, but it wouldn't recognize my microphone. So I had to troubleshoot that to see why it wouldn't take. So thank the Most High, everything is up and going. And, got a lot to cover, but I'm going to try to keep it simple tonight, for you guys. And there is a lot going on, family. There's a lot going on. There's so much deception, so much of the scriptures playing out before our eyes. And I'm going to share some information with you guys that you guys are already familiar with, but I really want to share it from a biblical perspective too, about how the prophecies, the scriptures call all these things out. And just real quick, and I just want to say to some of our brothers and sisters that believe that, we're supposed to just sit back and not do anything and let the Most High do what the Most High is going to do. That's not prophecy. That's not how we're supposed to sit back and do things. We're supposed to be proactively working. We are supposed to still function, not sit back and not sound the alarm to all the craziness that we see right now. If you are truly a watchman in this community, you know that you are not supposed to just sit back and not say anything, not do anything, just believing that the Most High is just going to, his prophecy is just going to fulfill itself, and we just sit back on the sideline while those things take place. That is not biblical. That's not scripture at all. We have to participate in the process. So with that being said, let me go to bring my brother in. I see him in the background. Let me bring Berean Scholar in before we get started here. Let me see here. Shout outs to you, my brother. How are you?
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom to you. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Do you you can hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Well, apologies for the late, the tardiness. Like I said, just was trying to get these clips together and still put together a presentation. You know how it goes to put a PowerPoint on the screen.
We are here.
So family, we got a lot to cover. And as you see the topic here, they control TikTok, the media, and it's when you really start thinking about what's playing out before our eyes and how such a group of people is able to manipulate and I'm just going to say the 1948ers, how the 1948ers are so gifted at doing what they do. They are very good at manipulating whatever things that they touch. I'm just going to be real with you. They are so good at manipulation. So they do it to the fullness. And not just the 1948ers, but we're just going to say the descendants of Japheth, the fierce nations of Japheth. They are no joke, family. And so much is playing out before our eyes. Before I get started, Berean Scholar, any comments before we get started?
Man, it's stuff that we've been sounding the alarm on for weeks now, and they now ramping up the pace of what they're doing, and with this, like things are just getting in place to try to initiate the agenda.
Absolutely. And so, family, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a couple of clips, and then I'm going to kind of set the tone here with going over some old stuff in terms of bring you up to speed with Kanye West for those that may not remember what took place. And I didn't get a chance to get all some of his clips here. I was trying to do it, but I was like, man, if I do that, I'll be here for another. We won't be getting started for another hour. So I may just save that for continuation of this discussion. But we're going to play some clips here just so that way you guys can understand the manipulation here. Just how serious things are. So let me get my clips in order. Let me get it in order real quick. All right, let's see here. All right, let me see if I have, all right, see where I'm at. I am at, okay. All right. So you guys already know about the 1948ers, right? So I'm going to just start off with a couple of clips that you guys are familiar with. And this is dealing with Netanyahu. All right. This is dealing with him. You guys are already familiar with this, but I want to just kind of set the tone with playing this clip here, followed by a couple other clips. Here we go.
This story begins in October 1949, 1 year after Israel's formation. This is when Netanyahu was born, the second child of a historian. His paternal grandfather was a rabbi and a Zionist writer. His name was Nathan Milikowski. Later in life, he Hebraized his surname from Milikowski to Netanyahu, a name which means God has given.
This is Yair Netanyahu's DNA test that has been leaked. You can see right there his Y DNA is RM198. Descendants of RM198 come from Poland, Russia, Germany, and other European countries. Does this look Semitic to you? Does this look Middle Eastern?
I'm about to show you something extremely controversial. It's even illegal in the state of Israel. Ladies and gentlemen, my DNA. Now, I bet you thought it was going to be a lot crazier than that.
This TikTok caused a storm online, with many debating what his results, which show no trace of being from Palestine or the Middle East, despite being Jewish, mean. DNA testing to prove Jewish ancestry is a hot-button political issue in Israel. For example, Israel's chief rabbinate has pushed for the ancestry DNA tests to be allowed to prove Jewishness in certain cases. In particular, many Jews who have emigrated to Israel from the Soviet Union, who may not have had the necessary paperwork that shows they are Jewish, have sought to get genetic tests done to show they are Jews. In 2019, a political scandal erupted when it appeared Russian Jews were secretly submitting DNA tests to the rabbinate in order to obtain the right to move to Israel.
There are Ashkenazi Jews who are entirely European in their DNA. That's why you're not allowed to have a DNA test in Israel, because it will reveal that virtually none of them are Semitic, virtually none of them have any ancestral connection to the land. I was viciously assaulted by a manager in the BBC who had recently converted to Judaism. It's fine. I love all religions. But you can't say I've now converted to Judaism and therefore I have a right to go to the land of Palestine and live in the house of someone whose ancestors have been living in it for thousands of years.
So let that sink in for a moment, family, to what he's saying. Even though we know that we can narrow it down, not for thousands of years, but we could say hundreds of years on the average, maybe let's just say 500 years. But anyway, just think about that. Let that sink in. Someone can just literally convert over to a religion and take on the title, right, of being 1948ers, and then have right to claim a piece of property, a piece of territory that someone else is already occupying. Even if it was 20 years, it's their land. You know what I mean? So that gives the right, per se, to go take something that never belonged to you. Any comments on Berean Scholar? I'm on it. If you,
my mic
I was
keep
getting ready
going.
to say that too.
Yeah, you're right. But these people are notorious wherever they go of infiltrating, perpetrating that I'm poor and helpless, then taking over and controlling whatever they try to possess, like they did with where they at right now. Other places they've been in history. If anybody doing a study in history, they've done it in other places. It's outrageous.
And so, family, think about someone coming over to your home and telling you that they grew up on on the street that you just purchased a home at, and say that they, let's just say, used to live in the house, right, that you purchased, and now they're telling you they have right to take that house from you. I mean, it's just ridiculous, family. It's ridiculous. And so this is why I wanted to do this live here tonight. I know it's an unscheduled live, and we're going to do one tomorrow night. We're going to continue with the series, The Cult of Baal, and we're going to deal with tomorrow the cremation rituals. But think about this, family. Just really think about what we dealing with right now. The manipulation. And the reason why I put Kanye West up on here, and I'm going to just give you a refresher, because I have some slides up here. I'm going to give you a refresher. Remember the ridicule that Kanye West was up under. Remember the I would say the tornado, right? That spun off of this, the firestorm that was created off of a post that he made, right? So let's bring up the post. I still have a screenshot of the tweet. So what triggered Kanye Ye West tsunami? This is it right here. All right. He posted 3 years ago. Man, time is just flying, man.
Yes,
But it reads, I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEF CON 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because Black people are actually Jew. Also, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who opposes your agenda. All right. So I'm just highlighting a couple of things here. And I will say this, right? Even though he gave clarity to the tweet the very next day, this is where we have to be careful, even in this awakening, what we say, what we do. And that's why I'm doing this live tonight, because the 1948ers just have access to another major platform out there. And that major platform is TikTok.
Right.
And I'm going to encourage all of you guys, if you are on TikTok, let it go. Let it go. Because they're going to use that to get access to your data. But that's we're going to get there. But I just want to kind of lay things out as a refresher on what transpired with the Kanye West situation, right? So this is the tweet right here. Again, I'm not here being a Kanye West apologist and nothing like that, but I just want to talk to you guys about the bigger picture. The bigger picture is, when you deal with this community, the 1948ers, even if it's their own that's going against them, right? They have a playbook. If you guys remember, what's his name? Benjamin Freeman, I believe that's his name. Yeah. The Facts of Facts, right? And I got a video of his lecture on here. He was demonized. He was told that he was made to look like he was crazy. And even the latest congresswoman that spoke out against the 1948ers, what's her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene. They're trying to put this narrative out there that she's suicidal. So family, that's part of what we're going to cover. Actually, not just part of. That's what we're going to cover tonight, and we're going to use scripture as well. All right. So before I continue, let me play a couple of clips because short clip. They're really short because this is to cover us, right? Cover this platform because when you say certain things, it's good to let them say it with their own words. So this is Rabbi Shapiro of what he says about how someone becomes a 1948er and how they were created and how religion created the entire group. Here it is.
You can convert to Judaism. You can't convert to a blood family. You cannot convert to a race. Judaism is a religion. That's all it is. Judaism is a religion. That's all it is.
Judaism is a religion. That's all it is.
That's what the Zionists did, except instead of a baseball team, they went to try to convince the Jews that the Jewish people are a nation, like France and like Spain. We'll get a land, that's Israel, that's our stadium. We'll get baseball bats and balls, we'll create a language. They sat down to create a language because nations need languages. They sat down to create a language because nations need languages. They sat down to create a language. They sat down to create a language.
They sat down to create a language.
The religion created the Jewish people. The definition of a Jewish person is somebody who is transformed by receiving the Torah.
All right, family. So you heard it.
Laid it out.
You know, so that's how, and I want to just give some pointers to those that have platforms. You know, always show sources. Don't just quote things and recite things. It's good to have whatever sources, whatever groups that you're speaking on, it's good to have them speaking and saying certain things themselves, so that way it is properly documented. So it doesn't come across as if you're just, just shooting a breeze. Yes. All right. That's what got, well, I'm not even going to get into it. All right. Yeah. So this is the tweet right here that sent everything. I mean, this caused this tsunami, this firestorm, right? And he was wrong. I would say this right here. He was wrong for posting this here because no matter what, I understand what he said, but what it says here, when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. That right there, this is what really hurt him, with that. So even though he gave clarity to what he meant the next day, he did give clarity. He did it on Piers Morgan's show as well. I got the clips, right? But anyway, let's go and delve into this more, family. And this is where it gets into this narrative of what is anti-Semitic. Now, this is what DEFCON means from a military perspective. When he said DEFCON 3, as you see here, this DEFCON 3 is in the middle, and it says Air Force, 15 minutes to mobilization, force readiness, increase above normal levels. So this is a lot different than what many people have even took the phrase DEFCON. But just for him to say DEFCON, I knew he meant DEFCON. But again, when you're saying certain things, you got to be very clear and very specific with what you say, because if you don't and you leave room or margin for error, then that's going to be exploited. Any comments, Berean Scholar?
No, because it's any criticism you have of them or the government or their policies, then you're vilified.
Absolutely. And they have a playbook, right? Exactly. And I studied that playbook, and that's why I present the information in a certain way, because I studied their playbook, right? So with that being said, what is anti-Semitism? And we're going to get into the videos here, because I got some clips here that we're going to discuss about Netanyahu, what he said about TikTok and some other things. We'll get to that in a second, but I want to kind of build this up here, starting with what is anti-Semitic? What is anti-Semitic, right? This is what it says. Anti-Semitic This is coming from the Britannica. This is what it says there. Anti-Semitic hostility towards or discrimination against Jews as a religious or racial group. The term Semitism was coined in 1879 by the German agitator Wilhelm Marr to designate the anti-Jewish campaign underway in Central Europe at that time. So this is telling you that this phrase was created for a specific demographics of people, regardless of who's who, right? Because we already know what the word Semitic comes from, the word Afro-Asiatic, right? It's a subgroup, and it has a number of other groups that extends from that, right? Semitic extends from Afro-Asiatic, right? And I'll share some sources because again, when I say certain things, I like to present it so that way no one can say I'm just making stuff up. All right, but anyway, so being Shemitic, we know that all the descendants of Shem would be Shemitic. All the descendants of Shem would be Shemitic. Right? Now, when we get to the Hebrew aspect of it, all the descendants of Eber would be Hebrew. Now, when we get to the Israel side of things, guess what? All the descendants of Jacob would be Israel. All right. And if we want to go to Judah, right, you have 12 tribes, but only one consists of Judah. There's only one Judah, even though you have the nation of Judah. But guess what? It's only one Judah. There's 11 other tribes. All right. But anyway, so it goes on to say here, since it implies a discrimination against all Semites, Arabs and other people are also Semites, and yet they are not the target of anti-Semitism as it is usually understood. Now, that's a lot to unpack there, especially when you come from our community and we know that we are descendants from the ancient people.
Amen.
And when we put it in this proper perspective, no one had to endure what we had to endure as a people. None, not even close to it. Any comments, Berean scholar?
And that specific word, the anti-Semitic, like you're saying, they are taking that and twisting the word, just like they twist all the other words of confusion that we deal with here in this awakening, the truth, so they can weaponize it against anybody who stand up to their propaganda, anybody who spread the truth.
Absolutely. Hit it on the nail. All right, so let's move this along here, family. So as we go here, this is the now this is the other part to it. It says here, this is why I like this part of the definition. It says here, Nazi anti-Semitism, which culminated in the Holocaust, had a racist dimension in it, in that it targeted Jews because of their supposed biological characteristics, even those who had themselves converted to other religions or whose parents were converts. Now, a key word here is supposed. Supposed, when I read this, I was like, oh my goodness, you can't make it any plainer. That's a key word here. Let's see what supposed means. Let's see what it means. All right. This is coming from Cambridge Online. According to what someone told you, or according to what is believed by many people to be true. You see, words have meaning, family. You have to pay attention to the details. So what has been rehearsed? What has been told about who the ancient people are and who the ancient people are not? All right. So what is Semitic? Is there a legal definition of anti-Semitic? We're going to cover this real quick. What is the definition of anti-Semitism according to the 1948ers? This is coming from their own document, right? And I'll drop the link inside the comment section. This is on our government website, right? These are some of the things that is listed here. Anti-Semitism is a certain perception of 1948ers, which may be expressed as hatred toward 1948ers. Rhetorical and physical manifestations of anti-Semitism are directed toward 1948ers or non-1948ers individuals and or their property, toward 1948ers communities, institutions, and religious facilities. Still didn't give you much on it, right? So anti-Semitism is a certain perception. Look at you see, you can't make this up, right? Anti-Semitism is a certain perception. Let me zoom it in. It's all what? It's subjected to whoever is defining this. But it says that it's a perception, how it's perceived, right? So what is the definition of anti-Semitism according to the 1948ers? Well, let's go further. Contemporary examples of anti-Semitism: calling for, aiding, or justifying the killing or harming of 1948ers, often in the name of a radical ideology or an extremist view, or an extremist view of religion. Making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about the 1948ers as such, or the powers of the 1948ers as a collective, especially but not exclusively the myth about a world 1948er conspiracy or of 1948ers controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions. Now, family, that's a lot right there to unpack, but let me highlight a couple more things, and we'll keep this train moving. And Berean Scholar, I'll open it up if you have any comments to make. So here it is, family. Accusing 1948ers as a people of being responsible for real or imagined wrongdoing. Oh my goodness. Committed by a single 1948er person or group, the state of Israel, or even for acts committed by non-1948ers. Come on, family. You can't make this up. Accusing the 1948ers as a people or Israel as a state of inventing or exaggerating the Holocaust. Accusing 1948ers citizens of being more loyal to Israel or to the alleged priorities of 1948ers worldwide than to the interests of their own nation. Let me play a quick 20-second clip here. Let me play a quick 20-second clip. You guys probably remember this. Let me see if I have it up here.
I have said to people when they ask me if this Capitol crumbled to the ground, the one thing that would remain is our commitment to our aid, and I don't even call it aid, our cooperation with Israel. That's fundamental.
Now, for some of you guys that may not know this, but Chuck Schumer is a 1948er. He's a 1948er. And they are at a conference for the 1948ers. So here you have a Congresswoman, Nancy Pelosi, making it clear that her commitment, their commitment, because they're sitting on a panel, right? They both are members of Congress, and stating where their alliance is. Now, according to this document that we have on the screen, me mentioning this is anti-Semitic.
Exactly.
Even though you just heard with your own ears, you can see it with your own eyes, exactly what they said. Let me play it one more time.
I have said to people when they ask me if this capital crumbled to the ground, the one thing that would remain is our commitment to our aid, and I don't even call it aid, our cooperation with Israel. That's fundamental.
Can't make this up. Any comments, Berean Scholar?
Their propaganda is so thick, is like you said, if you see them, if you have eyewitnesses them committing crimes, I mean crime against like they're doing now in their own place, and you call them on that, then you're wrong for saying it.
Exactly.
I mean, you're wrong for saying that you're committing crimes that's written down in the books.
You're even wrong if you mention someone from their community saying those things. That's what's so crazy.
And what gets me, that they have so much influence. I'm looking here at this page. When they had that 50, it was called the 50 State One Israel conference in September. They have a list here on Wikipedia of all the names of people who went there, and there are at least 2 or 3 people from every state in the United States in their country listen to their propaganda to make rules in their cities, in their states, to support them and to control us, what we're doing and what we're saying about them.
And funny that you mention it, family. This is what he's referring to. Here it is.
The largest ever U.S. delegation to Israel just took place. 250 state legislators from all 50 states arrived Monday for an event called 50 States, One Israel. They planted 50 trees at a site of the October 7th attacks and met with Israeli leaders. Netanyahu's office called it the biggest bipartisan visit of American lawmakers to Israel. Foreign Minister Gideon Sa'ar urged them to push anti-BDS laws in their states, which are meant to discourage boycotts of Israel. So far, 38 states have already adopted such measures. Sa'ar described BDS as part of a coordinated global effort against Israel, saying the best response has been anti-BDS legislation. But the trip's timing sparked controversy. The very next day, the UN ruled for the first time that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza, while Israel relaunched its ground invasion of Gaza City. And despite its scale and timing, this massive visit has barely been covered by international media. Only local Israeli outlets reported on it, leaving many to question why such a major event went largely unnoticed.
Family, this is playing out before our eyes. Before our eyes. This is what Berean Scholar was making reference to, about 250 politicians from here going there and furthering to cementing their commitment to their nation. And as you just heard again, go ahead.
Drop the link in the chat. They can look them up themselves and see if their state and their state representatives there.
Absolutely. So what is the definition of anti-Semitism according to the 1948ers? What is it? Right? We went through it. They say calling for aiding or justifying the killing or harming Jews or 1948ers, often in the name of a radical ideology or an extremist view of religion. That's pretty straightforward. So are these comments that I'm getting ready to share with you anti-Semitic? When I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Now, on the surface, we have to say that falls under that line, right? Because the way that he presented it, he said DEFCON, He didn't write DEFCON, he wrote DEFCON. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, technically, according to their definition that we saw, this would be considered anti-Semitic. All right. So what is the definition of anti-Semitism according to the Jewish community? We're going to keep asking that question. Making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of the Jews or 1948ers as a collective, especially but not exclusively, the myth about a world 1948ers conspiracy or of 1948ers controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions. All right. So this is what's going to allow us to kind of segue, just kind of like a segue here, transitioning over to some additional clips we want to share with you about the TikTok, as I have some clips about that. But before we get to that, I want to play Kanye West right after he got this definition here, because when he reads it, it's going to read verbatim from what I have up on the screen. So here's a clip of him explaining what he didn't know about anti-Semitism as far as the definition. So here we go.
I mean, anti-Semitic statements are never good for anybody, right? It's kind of like being anti-black.
But, it's really interesting. I didn't realize that I could be considered anti-Semitic till I read one of the definitions of anti-Semitism. Look at this. The definition says, making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as a collective, such as, especially, but not exclusively. This sounds like let it go by. What was that? All right, so it says, think about it, that sounds like the type of wording that's in the contracts, right?
Indeed.
Okay, it says, such as, especially, but not exclusively, the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions.
But isn't that what you said? That Jews run everything?
Yeah, but that actually is considered to be anti-Semitic. I didn't realize that it was anti-Semitic to say, hey, I have a Jewish attorney, I have a Jewish record label, I have a Jewish contractor, I have a
Do you
Jewish...
regret your statements? Or the statements you think you should be walking back? I mean, considering...
What do you mean walking back?
Well, backing up off of them. I mean, the thing is, you've lost a lot of endorsements. People are dropping you. You're getting, vilified. I mean, you might think you're right, but I think, there's a whole world out there that's condemning you for what you said.
Okay, so this right here is a chart of Universal Studios, 20th Century Fox, ABC News, CBS News, Columbia Pictures, Warner Brothers, ESPN Sports, Fox News, Washington Post, Metro Goldwyn Mayer, MTV Music Television, Nickelodeon, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Comedy Central, NBC Entertainment, Google, what else do we have? Disney, ABC Kids and Family, YouTube, Los Angeles Times, Discovery Network, Paramount Pictures, Facebook, Huffington Post, Yahoo, Marvel, Hulu, Cosmopolitan, Time, Touchstone, Associated Press, Pixar, Miramax, HBO, New York Post, LucasArts, MSNBC, DreamWorks Animation. Now, the thing is, I skipped over maybe about 5 of them because it was just unclear on this list. The red are the executives that are Jewish at these companies.
That's wild,
man. And when you see the full video, I didn't have enough space to put the last portion of it. The reporters changed their stance.
Yep.
They even said to him, is that the reason why they basically in a nutshell coming at you, because of this? Because he shared this information, and they went from being kind of I would say aggressive with their questioning to him, like, well, you hurt people, you know what I mean? And then in the end, their whole tone changed.
The
Brent
media,
Scholar, you got
the media just quotes their own words. You know, are you gonna ask for forgiveness? Are you gonna do this? You know, that's what the ADL put out, and they just reiterate and spit out again.
And so it's like almost like what they're saying to him. Are you going to go through the humiliation ritual? You know what I mean? Apologize and go through all the different steps of being reintroduced. You know you know how it goes. I'm not even going to get into it, but their 5-step plan, I guess, similar to what they were doing with Kyrie Irving. Situation. So you heard it with your own ears, family. Kanye West read from this document that is up on the screen. All right. Let me see here. So was Kanye West correct about who controls the media? Was he correct about this? And real quick, this is an article, LA Times, Who Runs Hollywood? Come On, by Joel Stein. He's a 1948er comedian. All right. So we're going to break this down here real quick. And it's going to sound similar to what you just heard Kanye West point out. And let me drop this link because unfortunately you try to go to it now. That's why I say screen prints and all of that, because they're constantly changing up the original links. So it makes it harder for those like who wants to confirm and validate what's being read. It makes it hard for you guys to go follow up. So I'm gonna do two things. Let me copy this link to this PDF that I went over into the chat.
And please, guys, look these things up, download them, and save them, because they are trying to take this information down.
Absolutely. All right, and let me get the other one. This is the link to the initial source that I shared from them, defining what anti-Semitism is. But I have another document I'm going to share, and this is coming from the LA Times. All right, let me drop this link as well that I have currently on your screen. All right. So it says here, who runs Hollywood? Come on. I have never been so upset by a poll in my life. Only 22% of Americans now believe the movie and television industries are pretty much run by 1948ers, down from nearly 50% in 1964. The Anti-Defamation League, which released the poll results last month, sees in these numbers a victory against stereotyping. Actually, it just shows how dumb America has gotten. 1948ers totally run Hollywood. How deeply 1948ers is Hollywood? When the studio chiefs took out a full-page ad in the LA Times a few weeks ago to demand the Screen Actors Guild settle its contract. The open letter was signed by News Corp president Peter Chernin, 1948er, Paramount Pictures chairman Brad Grey, 1948er, Walt Disney company chief executive Robert Iger, 1948er, Sony Pictures chairman Michael Linton, surprise Dutch 1948er, Warner Brothers chairman Barry Mayer, 1948er, CBS Corp chief executive Leslie Moonves, so 1948er, his great uncle was the first prime minister of Israel. MGM chairman Harry Sloan, 1948er, and NBC Universal chief executive Jeff Zucker, mega 1948er. If either of the, and I did put it all there, so let me continue on. It says the 1948ers are so dominant, I had to scour the trades to come up with 6 Gentiles in high positions at entertainment companies. When I called them to talk about their incredible advancement, 5 of them refused to talk to me, apparently out of fear of insulting the 1948ers. The 6th AMC president, Charlie Collier, turned out to be 1948ers, right? So again, that's a duplicate. So he goes on to say this: as a proud 1948er, I want America to know about our accomplishment. Yes, we control Hollywood. Without us, you'd be flipping between the 700 Club and Davy and Goliath on TV all day. All right. Hollywood, by launching a public relation campaign, because that's what we do. I'm weighing several slogans, including Hollywood, more 1948ers than ever. Hollywood, from the people who brought you the Bible. And Hollywood, if you enjoy TV and movies, then you probably like 1948ers after all. Family, they admit it. They admit it. Here's a clip, and then I'll get some input from you, Berean Scholar. You go on Russell Simmons tonight. You very straight and simple with your, comments, right? You like, keeping it brief, like Russell Simmons. Thank you very much. Good night.
I don't want to step on your toes. I know you got a lot of things planned.
I appreciate it. But if you have some comments, feel free to share. Hallelujah. So this is Michael Rappaport, right? Listen what he says. You guys heard this before. I played it before on the channel, but listen to what he says. And through some racial things out there about our community while saying it.
To all my Jewish friends, my Jewish brothers and sisters, stand tall. Stand tall. Do not let this fear, this sadness, this anxiety, and this dread overwhelm you. Draw strength from your family, from your friends, from your ancestors, and the worldwide bond that we share that has always put the battery in your back. We're used to being looked at as different because that's what we are. We are different, and that's a good thing. I know that Jews are looked at as weak, but we're stronger than you can imagine. That's why you hurl propaganda. We control all the money. We control the media because it's plausible. It's plausible because we're just that good. Smart, compassionate, moral, and strong people. And we need to stand taller than ever against all those sick, dumb, uneducated black tar in their blood who hate Jews because they ain't. You hate us because you ain't us.
Good, Berean Scholar. I'll let you roll.
Hey,
I see how your face is. I see your face.
Every time I hear his voice, man, because he goes off like that, and because it's okay for them to call anybody name to come at anybody else, but if you say anything about them, you're anti-Semitic. And for those of you in the chat that Pastor Kelly put in that link for the LA Times, if you clicked on it, you pull up a new article that's been revised, and you can't watch it because they got a step on it. You got to pay for it. But if you go to the Wayback Machine, just go Wayback Machine, put the same link in, you can go back and read the whole article he saw. So just want to put that out there. So I hope you guys research this up yourself.
Oh man, so they, I'm not surprised they done.
Oh yeah, you got to pay. You got to pay to read the new one, just the new one that don't say the same thing because they went in and how they went in and try to
revised it and all that. Yeah. I'm not even surprised, man. Not even surprised, right? And as you see in that document, they're making it clear. We have 2 additional witnesses saying that they run everything. You know what I mean? And said it had it with this actor Michael Rappaport. He added some racial things along with that. You know what I mean? But family. So this is what leads me to Netanyahu. This is what he said in an interview about TikTok. Listen to what he said about TikTok and the intentions for it.
And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. You know, the weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well, okay? And you can't fight with cavalry. That doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, you know, like drones, things like that. I won't get into that. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are the social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is TikTok. TikTok, number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. And the other one, what's the other one? That's most important. X. Exactly. Very good. And, you know, so we have to talk to Elon. He's not an enemy. He's a friend. We should talk to him. Now, if we can get those two things, we get a lot. And I could go on other things, but that's not the point right now. We have to fight the fight, okay? To give direction to the Jewish people and give direction to our non-Jewish friends or those who could be our Jewish our friends. Are we going to succeed with everyone? No. Will there be a strong counterpoint? Yes.
Wow. Any comments, Brilliant Scholar?
I was trying to listen because I this is the same video I had of him. I'm taking it down. But when he asked class what was the number one thing, did somebody say white power?
You know what? I didn't pay attention to that. I could play it again. I'll play it again. Let me play it again. Let's play it again.
And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. You know, the weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well, okay? And you can't fight with cavalry. That doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, you know, like drones, things like that. I won't get into that. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are the social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is TikTok. TikTok, number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. And the other one, what's the other one? That's most important. X. Exactly. Very good. And, you know, so we have to talk to Elon. He's not an enemy. He's a friend. We should talk to him. Now, if we can get those two things, we get a lot. And I could go on other things, but that's not the point right now. We have to fight the fight, okay? To give direction to the Jewish people and give direction to our non-Jewish friends or those who could be our Jewish our friends. Are we going to succeed with everyone? No. Will there be a strong counterpoint? Yes.
Wow.
Did you hear it?
Well, actually, I didn't catch it. I didn't hear it. I was trying to listen. Sound like you said collar, but I don't know.
I think somebody said it in jest because he smirked and put his finger up. But when he said the number one thing, somebody said white power. Okay, I could be wrong. But you notice the words he's using: weapons, battlefield. We need a fight.
So think about this, family. This is a foreign country being allowed to censor this country. Right? The country that's supposed to be all about what? Freedom of speech. That's the one thing that supposedly have this country stand above other countries is that very thing, the freedom of speech. And you see this company or this group of people have infiltrated the Congress. They have laws now that they could do whatever they want to do. They could read. Matter of fact, I'll get to there in a second to show you how even the law that's on the books to define anti-Semitism is a working document. that they can make changes to it without even having to go through Congress at all because of the way the bill is written. Go ahead, Berean Scholar.
And I mean, the video you show, the video I had up here, I had on my back off about the same one, but they show who he's talking to, because he's sitting in a room with about 20 or 30 social media influencers.
Yeah,
most of them are from conservative platforms, or I think a couple of them were from Turning Point. But these are people that he wants to bag, and he can bag them financially, he can bag them whatever they need to get messages out on these platforms to promote their agenda
and be watchdogs for them.
Exactly.
They're going to be straight watchdogs
and go after anybody else who's saying anything different.
And so I want you to listen to how bold they are now. Listen to what he says about the Democratic Party. This is something that you is unheard of when you're dealing with politics, that a foreign government has the right to basically, matter of fact, let me let you listen to what he says about liberals.
Christian influencers. Okay. You said, you talked about the woke right. And you said, I call it the woke Reich. That's a brilliant observation. The woke Reich, because these people, they're not any different from the woke left. I mean, they're insane. They're crazy. But they're actually meeting on some of the things. And what we have to do is we have to secure that part of the base of our support in the United States. That is being challenged systematically. A lot of this is done with money. Money of NGOs, vast. Money of governments, vaster. Okay? We have to fight back. How do we fight back? Our influencers. I think you should also talk to them if you have a chance. To that community, they're very important.
So when you listen to him, and actually he said woke right. You see how they hijacked our narrative and basically made it into something else, right? So he said he referred to the right as being Reich, the woke Reich in family. That's Germany. So that's his way of connecting them to Hitler.
Yep.
This is, and when he say woke right, he's referring to the Candace Owens, the Marjorie Taylor, because those guys it's MAGA. Well, at least some of them not denouncing MAGA now, but still, that's the right. And then when he said left, woke right, anyone that's not agreeing with or questioning or have concerns about their agenda. When he said Reich, was comparing them to Hitler. Go ahead, my brother.
No, you're right. That's what he's doing. He's painting the enemy. And the same thing that our first leader is doing, the enemy from within, but he's not been part of this country, though.
Yeah. Unbelievable, man. Well, actually, I'm not going to say unbelievable. I believe it because nothing surprised me now with everything that's going on. Any additional comments, Berean Scholar?
Can I put up this this page or just to show this little article?
Yeah, I'll put it up right now.
Okay. The same tactic they did that. Now we all know that Charlie Kirk carried his water for so long, but when he started questioning the tactics they was doing in Gaza, when he started questioning them going in and blowing up schools and hospitals like that, he started calling them out there, and then he separated the ADL. The ADL put him and the Turning Point USA on their watch list. And anybody else that's telling the truth from them is on their watch list. Guess who? Guess what organization is not on their watch list? KKK is not on their watch list. But don't the KKK supposed to hate Jews? But none of those right-wing supremacist groups like KKK, the Boogaloo Boys, The got the ones that was at September, January 6th, Proud Boys. They're not on his watch list. Anybody that speaks to get Israel is on his watch list, on their watch list.
Mm.
And another one, you can look this up yourself. This is on. That's the page is on. That's Fox News.
And if you could drop the link for them in the chat, family,
I will.
Look it up, family. We bring this information to you for a reason, for you to be able to be, for your discernment to be sharpened. And this is why we cannot take the posture that some believe that we just sit back, we sit on the sideline and don't do any type of participation. We're not proactive. We're not sounding the alarm, that we just wait and let the prophecies, fulfill itself.
And they are not only sitting back like we showed how they had the representative from all the states, but they infiltrated the legislators, the Senate, and they're training our government how to carry their own propaganda, like they're doing in their country. They're doing it. Our government is doing it in our country now. I hope you guys saw what's happened in Chicago. I hope you looked up the news and how they invaded a whole apartment complex, stormed into windows, broke down doors, and arrested people who were citizens, saying they're looking for illegal
Aliens.
people, aliens.
Yeah.
But they took black people, our people.
And the thing about it, family, remember, I've been sounding a warning for a year how they were going to do a purge, and many of our own brothers and sisters were like, "Oh, they talking about Spanish people." No, I said no. They that's when they start doing the eating the dogs, eating the cats, and many of our brothers and sisters, jumping on the bandwagon, laughing. Oh, those are the Haitian people. Not realizing we're the same people. He mentioned Haitians. He mentioned Nigerians. I've been sounding this alarm for over a year. You guys already know it. It's the videos are still up that he was going to do a purge, and that's what he's doing right now. Family, it's vicious. When you start really unpacking what's being done, when you're cutting Social Security, when you're cutting all kinds of medical plans, far as the Medicaid, the Medicare, it's not because of illegal aliens. Don't get caught up in that nonsense. That has nothing to do with it. But my point that I'm making is, think about what it's targeting. Senior citizens, because that's going to eventually some of them, because of all these programs that are being cut, are going to what? Die.
Exactly.
That is a purge, to purge the senior citizens, to purge our communities, to purge. When he talks about when they did the speaking before the generals, saying that they want to use the inner cities, basically our communities, as their testing ground, their training ground. Family, this stuff is real. It is real. These are the things that's playing out before our eyes. Now, these are a couple of clips. These are clips I've been playing for well over a year. You know what I mean? But here's a couple of clips just to further prove just my point of what I stated, that he's been saying this for a while, and I've been posting it. Here it is. Listen to this real quick.
We're going to take back our country, and we're going to make Israel great again, and we're going to make Israel great again.
And we're going to make Israel great again.
We're going to make America great again. We're going to make them both great again, greater than ever before. They don't pay rent. The city doesn't have it's a chain of events. It's so bad. One rough hour, and I mean real rough, the word will get out and it will end immediately. End immediately. It'll end immediately. We are the party of common sense. I knew that once they had open borders, all of the countries I didn't think about all over the world. I thought in South America. It's all over the world. Last week, a lot of people came in from the Congo, a big prison in the Congo in Africa. Welcome to the United States. They came in from the Congo. They came in from the Congo. They came in from the Congo.
Now, family, just to Berean Scholar's point about Chicago, guess what? He did that his first term. He did that his first term. He's what, amping it up, because it's like now he has nothing that can basically check him in his mind. But he was doing this in sending out ICE back in his initial term. I don't know if you remember that, Berean Scholar, that it was a major standoff with I believe it was a governor out in Arizona as well, because they were targeting, of course, our communities. And of course, they were targeting California, but just like they're doing now, they're targeting, believe it or not, they're purposely targeting Democratic states.
He started with that, and then this year with the LA, and he kept pushing it farther and going farther and going farther, and you know he only gets to that he's policing all states that's not under his control. Every Democratic what he called liberal states, he will where we are, he want to police them.
Absolutely. And I see you have something you want to share.
This is the Chicago raid.
I spoke to one woman who actually lives in this building, and she says she was detained by ICE agents overnight, and she says they took everyone and then asked questions later.
They just treated us like we were nothing.
Patricia Fisher says she came out to the hallway of her apartment complex on the corner of 75th and South Shore Drive in her nightgown around 10 Monday night, only to find ICE agents yelling police.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me did I have any warrants, and I told them no, I didn't.
She says she was then handcuffed and released around 3 a.m. Fisher says she was told if anyone had any kind of warrant out for them, even if it was unrelated to immigration, they would not be released. Citizen App video shows the chaotic scene overnight. Neighbors tell us there were dozens of ICE agents. Neighbors like Ebony Watson says they ducked for cover as they heard several flashbangs go off.
They was terrified. The kids was crying, people was screaming. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner. Because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to each other. That's all I kept asking. Where's the morality? Where's the human? One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, them kids.
Watson says budget trucks and military-style vans were used to separate parents from their children. Other neighbors say they saw agents destroying property to get in the building.
And they had a big 15-inch chainsaw with a round blade on it, cutting this fence down. We're under siege. We're being invaded by our own military.
The FBI did confirm this morning that they did help the U.S. Border Patrol carry out a targeted immigration enforcement operation in this area, and they say they have been supporting these efforts at the direction of the U.S. Attorney General.
And family, as I pointed out a year ago, that you're going to see people disappear, and they have the power. And right now, I think it's right off the back, even though it's a low number, I know it's much higher, but 1,400 people that there's no accountability for. They'll just disappear, don't know where they are. The Supreme Court allows this to be for this administration to profile. Now, guys, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, man. And I got to witness being profiled.
Oh yeah,
I remember the whole Central Park 5. I lived up in that area. Nothing like having police officers pull guns on you. And I had that happen to me a couple of times in front of my grandmother. I had to, convince my grandmother to go back inside because I didn't want them to pull a trigger just from being nervous. I've had that done a few times. And that's not a pretty thing, profiling, man. I used to get pulled over so much. I remember when I was in the military, they had to jump in and contact the local law enforcement because I was one day I was like in a matter of a span of like a mile and a half. I got pulled over 3 times and searched.
Mm-hmm.
Even with me showing them my military ID. I mean, taking my stuff out, putting it on the ground, the whole 9. So,
Just
family,
driving.
this is real, family. This is real. And these are the things that many don't want to talk about. You know, why? Because unfortunately, some of our brothers and sisters were pushing for this, our people to vote for this guy right here. For me, I have no dog in the fight. I could care less about one side or the other. But guess what? Many of our brothers and sisters support this foolishness right here. Go ahead, Berean Scholar.
I'm responding to Leon D. Yada. He said some of the citizens, unless they had warrants, was released. Not all of them. And
exactly.
I got a couple of clips from people who were there. Since I couldn't validate it because they was online, but their family members are still missing.
And here's the kicker: then you don't see them going up into white communities. That is what is called profiling. Taking people and then say, I'm going to run checks on you. And if you have something, we'll keep you. But then guess what? Many of them are still being held for some haven't even been released. Many of you guys don't even know, about a month and a half ago, almost 4,000 Jamaicans got sent out of this country.
Exactly.
But that's not news. See, what can happen, and this is what I want to say to you, brothers and sisters, don't get caught up in this divisive thing that happened, that the name stealers, not just the name stealers, I'll just say the descendants of Japheth has done to our community. They cause us to have so much separation to thinking that we're not the same people far as it's the people that's in the Caribbean, that we're not the same people as the people that's in Haiti, the same people that's in Barbados, that we get this thing like, and I literally saw people say, well, that's the Haitians. When it's all said and done, guess what? We all look the same. You could be going to the coming home from work or going to, let's just say, Shabbat worship, get pulled over or get targeted and get arrested, and we never see you again. They could take you overseas and release you in whatever country they decide to release you at.
I mean, it just blows my mind that apartment building inner city Chicago with over 120, 130 units. People are coming home from work tired, maybe just getting dinner or whatever. You know how people do. You're hanging out in the crib, and all of a sudden, people busting in your windows, kicking down your doors, yelling, said, "You're under arrest. You're under arrest. You done nothing wrong. You have no warrants, but you're getting drug out of your house." And I wish I found the clip that I saw that they showed the conditions of the people's homes now. Most of all the furniture had been destroyed. Kept safe. One guy's birth certificate was ripped out, laying on the road. They just ran.
Oh yeah, that's what they do, man. When I say they going, look, I lived in the projects, and at least, and I'm not trying to minimize it, but man, I witnessed some stuff, but they wouldn't take it to the level that they're taking it here. So, family, this is, I mean, unbelievable. It's unbelievable, but guess what? We see this prophesied in the scriptures. And I'm going to touch on a piece of scripture in a second here, but I just, this is something that we have to talk about. We cannot put our heads in the sand and not talk about these things, not prepare ourselves just in case something happened. It's pretty much, you have to do like how I was raised. If you get pulled over by the cops, do X, Y, Z. Put your hands in a position that it doesn't look like you're being a threat, that the officers see your hands at all times. And when you talk to the officer, if he asks you to get your insurance card, for example, officer, I'm taking my right hand and I'm going to move it over to such and such. My insurance card is inside my glove compartment. Is it okay for me to move my hand over to the glove compartment? I've been there several times.
I have too, brother.
So, but think about it. Some complied and lost their lives in the middle of it. I thank the Most High that I just didn't have a trigger happy person or someone that was so nervous. But we had our moments. I'll never forget coming back from a basketball game, all-star game, man, and cops pulled me and my brother and a couple of us that was that played the game. Here it is, trigger officer took his gun, took the clip off and everything, and took his gun out. Was like, hey, hands in the air. I'm like, on a routine stop. My baby brother crying because he didn't know what was going to happen. I'm sitting in the front, he's sitting in the back, so it wasn't like I could try to comfort him. But only thing, and we had to put our hands on the roof of the car with them pulling guns on us. So, family, this is again, this is so that way we are aware, we are alert, and we are not walking around here like zombies, not knowing what's going on. Go ahead, Berean Scholar.
And family of the Most High, they're not going to talk about this. These things will be reported and they'll move on. For example, I live in North Carolina, and they've been talking about the incident that happened on the subway on a train in Charlotte for the longest, almost every day in the news. But there's young men that got hung on the campus in Delta State. They came up and they moved on.
And they proved in the autopsy. Go ahead, Berean. I'm sorry.
They moved on from the story. Not saying anything else about it. Most people don't know that Colin Kaepernick got involved in that case and had another obstacle done, so they knew that he was beaten and abused. But nobody's reporting that.
Yeah.
So it's up to each one of you guys to repost this so people could be talking about this. We need our people knowing about this. Repost these things. Get this information out to our people. Because our people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge.
Yes. And come off of TikTok. Leave that platform alone.
Oh man.
Leave that platform alone. That's their platform now. And as you heard, he's using it for surveillance purposes, the whole nine. But matter of fact, let me play again so you guys can hear exactly what their intentions are.
And secondly, we're going to have to use the tools of battle. The weapons change over time. You can't fight today with swords. That doesn't work very well. Okay, and you can't fight with cavalry. That doesn't work very well. And you have these new things, like drones, things like that. I won't get into that. But we have to fight with the weapons that apply to the battlefields in which we're engaged. And the most important ones are the social media. And the most important purchase that is going on right now is followers. TikTok, number one. And I hope it goes through because it can be consequential. And the other one, what's the other one that's most important? X. That's very good. And, so we have to talk to Elon. He's not an enemy. He's a friend. We should talk to him. Now, if we can get those two things, we get a lot. And I could go on other things, but that's not the point right now. We have to fight the fight, okay? To give direction to the Jewish people and give direction to our non-Jewish friends or those who could be our Jewish our friends. Are we going to succeed with everyone? No. Will there be a strong counterpoint? Yes.
Still there, Berean Scholar?
I'm still here.
So, family, this stuff is happening right now. And again, don't take the approach that it can never happen to you. Just be prepared. Make sure you have important papers in certain areas. even if you have to put it in a safe deposit box, so, have duplicate copies, passports, whatever, make sure that you have that in a place that all right. Any other comments on Berean Scholar?
We got to be mindful what's coming on, because they control, and I'm gonna say it, they control the media, the airwaves, and everything. The propaganda that people put out about us, how they paint us, the music that our people put out about us, because they produce that, so people will see us as the threat. That's why they can do that to us and and feel no remorse. They paint that picture so they can treat us like lower than human. So we need to teach our young people, to teach our community who we are. Go get back to y'all's laws, statutes, and commandments, so we can not be what they say we are. We can show them who we're supposed to be, who we're called to be.
Absolutely. And so, family, I want to share some scripture here, because I like to at least show scripture.
Yes.
And I've done this before, but I just really want you guys to understand this, right? Let me show another. I'm not going to show a clip, but I'm going to show you just how deceptive, or just how much of an influence that these guys have, right? So let me turn your attention to here, right? This is a quote. You guys probably remember the guy, Rabbi Barkley. He stated in the video with Candace Owens, anti-Semitism is the oldest hate in the world, and the hate that mutates, right? So what does he mean when he said a hate that mutates? So when we look at a hate that mutates, mutation, as you see here, a significant and basic alteration, change. Then we see that word umlaut, right? That's interesting, right? We start dealing with languages, all right? The vowels. But look at this here, family. And the reason why I point it out, because Candace Owens asked him a question about defining anti-Semitism, and he just said it's a hate that mutates. He couldn't give her a definitive answer. All right. So look at what this says. This is House Bill 1274. Look at what it says here. It says here in section 5, paragraph 5, this is what I'm reading here. While there can be no exhaustive definition of anti-Semitism, as it can take many forms, the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, the IHRA, working definition has been an essential definitional tool used to determine contemporary manifestations of anti-Semitism, and includes useful examples of discriminatory anti-Israel acts that can cross the line into anti-Semitism. Section 6, or paragraph 6. The IHRA definition is used by various agencies of the federal government and by over 30 governments around the world, recommended for use by the European Council and the European Parliament, endorsed by the Secretary General of the United Nations and the Secretary General of the OSA, or OAS, or however you pronounce it, but nevertheless included in policy guides prepared by the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. All right. And look at what it says. It has been formally adopted by a growing number of nations, cities, universities, sports teams, and civil society. So what really stood out here, again, it said that this is a working definition. This is a bill or a law that's written in a bill that was passed, but it says it's a working definition, meaning they don't have to go before Congress. They have a bill that's just pretty much open-ended.
Exactly. A blank check.
They can change. They can say, hey, what's the definition of this bill? Oh, go to such and such site, whatever they put over it. That's basically what they did. And look at this here. Working definition, right? What is a working definition? Look at what working definition means. A definition that is chosen for an occasion. It may not fully conform with established or authoritative definitions. A definition being developed, a tentative definition that can be tailored to create an authoritative definition. And I knew you guys like, what? They actually have given them that type of authority? Yes. So what is the anti-Semitism according to the IHRA? Look at what they say here. It's going to read similar, but it's still going to be almost generic. Calling for aiding or justifying the killing or harming of 1948ers in the name of a radical ideology or an extremist view of religion. This is pretty much the same, making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical. I'm not going to read all of that. Accusing 1948ers as a people of being responsible for real or imagined wrongdoing. Is that? Come on.
Wow.
Can't make this up. Denying the fact, scope, mechanism, or intentionality of the genocide of the 1948ers, people at the hands of the National Socialist Germany and its supporters and accomplices during World War II, the Holocaust. Accusing the 1948ers as a people or Israel as a state of inventing or exaggerating the Holocaust. Accusing Jewish people of being more loyal to Israel or to alleged priorities of Jews worldwide. All right. Let's see here. This is pretty much duplicate, but look at this here. Applying double standards by requiring of it a behavior not expected or demanded of any other democratic nation.
That's real. I mean,
applying double standards, saying that if you say that they have or pushing double standards, that's anti-Semitism.
Was there the only? Well, I ain't gonna get into that.
Using the symbols or images associated with classic anti-Semitism, an example claiming of 1948ers killing Jesus, or blood libel to characterize Israel or Israelis. Look at this right here. Look at this right here, man. Holding 1948ers collectively responsible for actions of the state of Israel.
And see, that's the big one. That's the big one, because you can say something about the state of Israel. They would say you're talking about all Jews.
And he would call that anti-Semitism.
Although there's Jews here who are against the state of Israel.
Yeah. Yeah. Family, this is real, family. This is real. This is real. Any comments, Berean scholar?
Oh, what kind of definition is that when it says a lot but don't say anything?
Yeah.
A lot of words, but it's nothing definite. Leaves everything wide open so they can claim or blame anything they want.
And look at what it says here. This is on their site. It says working definition of anti-Semitism. Working definition. So they can modify it anytime. They don't have to go to Congress or anything. They basically have something on the records that they could do whatever they want to do. Change whatever they want to change. They don't have no auditing, no nothing. They can just do whatever they want to do with how they define it.
And the fact what it says up front of that document, you said over 30 other governments.
Yeah.
They are infiltrating. They are controlling and manipulating 30 other governments to put laws in that promotes their interests.
Yeah. 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 So family, this stuff is real, family. We cannot again put our heads in the sand and ignore these things that are happening right before our eyes. I mean, we're seeing stuff that the previous generation, and matter of fact, many of us in our generation never thought that we would see. We are seeing things that are playing out before our eyes that you never thought that you would see. Any comments, Berean Scholar?
All we could do is to band together and seek y'all's face and pray and fast and like I said, to keep ourselves aware and sound the alarm, because you're right. These things have not seen before. They are they're scared of the midterms, so they're doing everything they can to do what they can do while they got power. They're following the marching orders of Bibi Milikoski. I can call him that, right?
Oh yeah, that's his name. That's his real name.
And doing this stuff brazenly out in the open. And I don't know what they said the date of the sale. They actually flip over with TikTok, but like I said, it's theirs now.
Yeah, yeah. So family, they doing some other things, like the Gideon software. I mean, they're doing a number of things that they're implementing in this country to remove censorship. Well, to censor, enforce censorship.
Spy on us.
Yeah.
And our own representatives and governors passing these laws and letting them do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're on both sides of the aisle. Doesn't matter if they're Democrats or Republicans. They all, for the most part, most of them are bought and paid for.
And why are they doing it? Why they what's their target? They want to minimize who we are, so they can continue with their lie, their taking of our heritage and get us out the way. That's why you see stuff online that I said the last time. If you have noticed, there's a rise of people talking about the indigenous people, that we are the indigenous people. We didn't come from Africa, so we'll claim this land, and we release our connection to their land, or the land they took from us.
Yeah.
Now, yes, some of us came over, and some Africans was here before Columbus, and yes, that happened. And some people with Hebrew descent was there, but the majority of us came over on doing that slave war, and they brought us from people who were living in West Africa who ran away from Israel, and they can't cover that. They can't cover that for so long because people are waking up now.
Yeah. 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 And real quick, family, let me share some scriptures here before we wrap up here. I tell you, time flew by, right?
Ooh, I didn't even look up.
Yeah. Like, wow. Now, family, just real quick, I wanted to touch on this real quick. I touch on it from time to time. And this is just really the son of perdition. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4. I did a lesson showing, explaining the difference between the Antichrist and son of perdition. It's in the foundational playlist. I encourage you guys to go peep those lessons out. A lot of information. But let me just go ahead and share with you this prophecy right here real quick. It says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called Elohim, or that is worshipped, so that he as Yahweh sitteth in the temple of Yahweh, showing himself that he is Yahweh." We see that playing out before our eyes, family. Before our eyes, playing out right now. Let me see what video is this. Yeah. So let me play this clip right here showing a key attribute that that this beast, right? And we're going to break it down real quick. This beast wants to be worshiped. And this is what Paul prophesied about as well. Well, actually, the Messiah, prophesied about it. Paul prophesied about it. Peter, all of them, I'm not Peter, but John, all of them wrote some, a portion about things to come. These, especially when we get to Daniel and going to the prophets as well. But listen to this key attribute right here that really, confirms what we're dealing with right now with this this beast. Listen to what it says. I'm gonna play the clip here.
And you know what else, Jim? I just want to say this to our Christian friends, just to call it as it is and say it straight out. You guys are worshiping one Jew. That's a mistake. You should be worshiping every single one of us, because we all die for your sins every single day. And that's exactly what's going on here. Yeah. We're all God's firstborn, and we're dying for your sins right now because the Jewish people in the land of Israel are the bulwark against the orcs. Mm-hmm. Okay? The orcs are coming not to a theater near you, but to your home.
So again, family, one of the key attributes of the son of perdition is the desire to be worshiped as a savior. Any comments, Berean scholar?
Yeah, that's it. They want us to turn to them, because it's almost like somebody can tell a lie so long that they really believe it, and they're trying to manifest it.
Yeah,
they're trying to manifest it. And anything else that brings the reality to the point, it triggers them. So they have to put up a defense.
Absolutely. And so let me highlight a couple more things. All right. Who is the son of perdition? Is he the same as the Antichrist? And family, when we read the scriptures, you'll see that the Antichrist comes from within, our own brothers and sisters who have walked away, turned away, wolves in sheep's clothing. But when you get into the son of perdition, we're dealing with the sons, or should I say the lineage of Japheth. All right. And normally, I have some other presentations here, but for the sake of time, I didn't put it in here, but you'll see the worship of Gomer. That's what Freemasonry promotes by way of the Jewish mysticism, the Kabbalah. You'll see that Gomer, Dabar, God, is the worship of Gomer. All right, Freemasonry. But anyway, so let's fast forward here. I just want to deal with this real quick. This fourth beast, Daniel chapter 7, verse 23. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse, Shana'ah or Shana, from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. And when we look up this word diverse from a Hebraic school of thought, it says alter, change. You can also add manipulation. So this beast is going to have the gift of altering and changing things. Who is the what's the significance about the prince of the air? The prince of the air is good with manipulation.
Yep.
So this beast has the gift of manipulation. And what have we been talking about tonight? What have we been discussing for quite some time? All of them are in on it. All of these religious systems divided to spoils as part of the prophecy. Go ahead, Berean scholar.
You're right. And the prince of the air, what is the air? Media, news, radio.
Exactly. Family, they've been having these nuggets here. Remember this other nugget I played about 2 years ago that went viral? Let me let you hear just a short clip of this rabbi. Listen to what this rabbi say about us.
This world and the next world are asymmetrical. The next world is where the majority of a person's actions, which determine his identity, are compensated. For the righteous, they exist in the world to come and they're rewarded. And for those whose major complexion is black, are excluded from the world to come.
Come on, family. But we jumping out of the frying pan of Christianity, Catholicism, and jumping right into Judaism and other religions that's taking you further deeper into the delusion. So this fourth beast, manipulation, altering, changing things, and we as a people, we are at the front row. We at the front row seat, the front row of the front row seat of having what? Our identity changed before us, hijacked the whole nine. Fulfilling the 83rd book of Psalms, the crafty counsel of how they literally made it, said to themselves, they're going to make it so that way the name, our reputation is no longer remembered, no longer in our memories. We're the hidden ones. Go ahead, my brother.
And their propaganda is so well done, not only to our people, because we know sometimes we believe the propaganda, we believe the lie. That it was a video I put up a couple of weeks ago, and in the comments, and some of them I had to delete, kept saying the same thing over and over about black on black crime, 13% and 50%. The same lie you hear everywhere, which is a lie, and those stats have been proven to be wrong. But that stuff is put out from media, from news, from the other people who's like I said, regurgitating their propaganda.
And you know, when that deceptive stat came out, it came out during the shooting of the church down in South Carolina, Charleston, South Carolina. That's when they started pushing that black on black crime, because that was to offset what went on down there. And you heard many within our own community, even Stephen A. Smith, saying stuff like, well, this is a tragic such and such. They always preface their statement by saying, this is an unfortunate situation, yada, yada, yada. But are we going to talk about us killing each other? And they'll run with that narrative. And family, as Berean Scholar pointed out, white on white crime is actually higher. Asian on Asian crime. I mean, criminals, for the most part, stay within their community. They trying to get money, not get money to go across town. You know what I mean? And do a robbery and come back. But anyway, family, this is some of the manipulations that we see here that's going on. And that's what we're playing tonight. Some of the clips that we played and the things that we touched on is manipulation. The Prince of the Air is not playing, family. All right. Any comments on Berean Scholar? Because I'm gonna stop right here. I could go a little more with the scriptures and breaking down Revelation chapter 7 as far as this beast right here. But I didn't want to take too much time with that.
And it was several good questions in the chat about wanting to know more about who we are in the Hebrews. Now, one gentleman wanted to know more about how we came over here. So I put the book. They came before Columbus by Dr. Van. You can look up the book I put in, or you can look up a video that gives his lecture. But the information is there, guys. We need to get the information out. We need to repost these sites, share these sites. Share pastors' information, and make sure our people are hearing this, because the lies are spreading so fast. We need to flood the zone with truth.
Absolutely,
we have to flood. It's our responsibility to flood the zone with truth.
Absolutely, and this is the book that Berean Scholar made reference to. I'll just play a clip here of the writer, the author. Here he is.
The Arab is not an Egyptian.
I come from Egypt. Egypt has a very diverse color palette. People can look like me, or they can look deeper skin tone like Anwar Sadat, who comes from a Nubian origin.
The Arab is not an Egyptian.
The people who built the pyramids were not Arabs. The people who built the pyramids were not Arabs.
The people who built the pyramids were not Arabs.
I'm sorry, your ancestors had their own wonderful civilization in West Africa. They are culture appropriating my culture.
The people who built the pyramids were not Arabs. I know, man, because I am responsible for returning to the bloody Arabs the splinters of the Sphinx's nose and chin, and the Arabs do not want to remake it because it looks Negro.
So, family, it's real. It's real. Just what Berean Scholar pointed out earlier about how some of us came here prior, well before Columbus, well before settlers came here or explorers came to this part of the Americas, because Columbus didn't come to this part of the Americas. He never even set foot on this part of the Americas. But, he's, as he pointed out, that this source here gives you detailed information on us being here well in advance. All right. So any other comments, any final comments you want to give Berean Scholar as we wrap up?
I'm gonna, like I said, for us, it's important to flood the zone with truth. I'm gonna drop my link in there, so I hope that we have people can come follow and share some of the information we have on Berean Scholar Live, because guys, I think Pastor said this about 2,500 times. We're in the ninth hour. We're in the ninth hour, and it's up to us to take upon ourselves to learn as much as we can. We need to study to show our self-approval. A workman need not be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, so we can go out and share the truth, and not the truth that we've been taught through Christendom or Seventh-day Adventist, wherever you came from before you came to this truth, but the truth that the Most High gave His Son Yahushua to come to lead us in the truth and then walk, and how to walk in the way. That's the truth we need to walk in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And family, subscribe to his channel. Let's get his subscribers up. You guys know how YouTube does things. YouTube has a way of trying to suppress what we do, but in spite of what YouTube is doing, we're growing. We're doing exactly what the opposite of what they anticipated on happening. Go ahead, Berean Scholar.
And then I was thinking about that. I mean, you talk about this a lot, but I was noticing something. I was talking to my son. My son is 17 years old, and he likes to watch the fighting channels. And I can see young men, young guys get on the channel and watch videos and cuss and do all this stuff, and they will gain followers like crazy. But if you get on and tell the truth, they suppress you.
Yeah.
I get on and demigrate myself and my people and my community, well, I will blow up. But I'm telling my people who they are and how they're going to better themselves. No, we can't get that out. We can't let you grow like that. We know, like they did you and Brother Benaiah, we'll take people from you. We are unsubscribed people.
Yeah. Yeah. What's interesting too? Funny that you mentioned it, because I had uploaded a video a couple of days ago about the racist teacher singing a racist birthday song to one of our sister's son. And man, they suppressed that video so hard. Did you notice how low the views was on that?
Yeah. And I hope y'all saw it before y'all saw that video, because that I saw that video and I got angry. That teacher, and that's what's wrong with our kids. We're in schools that with teachers who have a mindset that don't like us. That teacher had the nerves that sing the happy birthday song that rhymes with going to the zoo and you look like a monkey and all that stuff to the only black little girl in the class. And she was too young to know. Well, it was a boy.
No, it was a boy. It was a boy.
But yeah. The only black child in that class, he was too young to know what he was been subjugated to. But think about that.
Yeah,
I would think if that was my child, and I saw that, and I saw this video.
That's right. That's right. That's right. You hit it right on the nail. You hit it right on the nail. And family, that's why we're doing what we do. And again, like the old school would say, Be concerned when people stop talking about you, you know what I mean, or doing certain things, because that means that you're not effective, so they, when I say they, the powers that be, they're making an assertive effort to try to suppress what we got going on, what we're doing. But in spite of all of that, the Most High is still allowing this word to get out. Exactly. And so I encourage you guys, get this word out, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, go to Berean Scholars channel. We got more than enough that we should be able to add a few hundred subscribers on this channel tonight. So let's subscribe to the channel, and family, it doesn't cost you anything.
And we saw live what happened with Jimmy Kimmel, how the people are so upset with him being censored. What they do, they hit the corporation where it hurt. They cut down their money. They unsubscribe to Disney, Hulu, and all that stuff, and they lost money. They lost a lot of money. YouTube, they get their money from viewership. If you're watching these videos and watching them all the way through and making comments, then they have to put money out. But if another thing, they try to keep money from people who are putting out the truth. So to flip that around, the more watches, the more comments, all this stuff, you're promoting the truth and help stop the I'm trying to keep it clean. Stop the thieves from stealing from us.
Absolutely. And appreciate it. Looks like some of you guys in the comments are confirming that you guys went over and subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate it. And tomorrow we'll be live on We Woke Now Extended. Tomorrow on the Shabbat. Well, might as well say in a few hours, right? I'll be teaching and encourage you guys to be available and peep out the teaching, because we just go in. This platform a little different over there. That's where you see a lot of my sermons and things along that line over there. So just so that way it's like a separation between the two. But really appreciate it, guys. With that being said, you good, Berean Scholar? Anything else?
I'm great.
Hallelujah
to the Most High. We are the people. We're gonna march on, and we're gonna wake up our people together. Hallelujah.
In the words of Yahweh to Moses in Exodus chapter 14, verse 13 and 14, that he gave him to the Israelites that were they were panicking, being at a dead end. And he gave them these words. He said, "Fear ye not, stand still, see the salvation of Yahweh. These Egyptians that you see here today will not have power over you again. The Most High will fight for you." But here's the kicker. We have to hold our peace. Can't go back. Can't stay here. Keep moving forward. Shalom.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11, verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this back, Genesis 14, verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was black. Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was Jacob had 12 sons, for real, and these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel.